You cannot arm wrestle your body's hunger hormone ghrelin and win. You can win small battles, but eventually ghrelin, which is the chemical that your body releases and says, feed me. And you're saying, no, I'm out of calories for the day. And so it releases more ghrelin in your stomach. It's gnawing a hole in your spine. And you're like, no, I can't eat. I'm out of calories. If you try to battle that chemical, you will lose. Welcome to First Responder Fitness with Carl Wimmer, where armor is forged through mental, spiritual, and physical preparation. And welcome to First Responder Fitness with Carl Wimmer, my friends. It is an amazing, amazing day. It's a new Monday, a new week that we can get out there and hit the ground running, eyes to the future, eyes to the horizon, looking forward to accomplishing our goals, not only for our career, but for our future. I hope that's what you're looking forward to. I hope that's what you're doing right now. I hope that you have already begun to improve yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. If you have, I would love to know about it. I want to hear your success stories, so please comment. If you're following on YouTube, we'd love to hear your stories. I am so passionate. As I look back over the last several weeks, I'm so passionate about the issues we're talking about. Physical fitness, mental health or fitness, mental fitness, and spiritual fitness. These three things will change your life. As a first responder, these three keys will see you through your career and into a productive, long, healthy retirement. And again, that's what we're aiming for here. We're aiming for a long life where you get to retire for at least as long as you worked. I mean, think about this for a second. You are out there serving and working and just giving your all to society. Some of you are spending 20, 25, 30, even 35 years in this career. Don't you want to spend at least that much time in retirement? Boy, I sure do. I sure do. Now that I'm retired, I look forward to the future. I look forward to the things that I want to do rather than being forced to kind of do the things that you have to do. There's a difference. But we can't do that if we are not healthy. We can't do that if we're not mentally strong. We can't do that if we're not spiritually fit and if we can't get through this career. So I welcome you to another episode. In this episode, we're going to be discussing something so important. And here in just a little while, later in the episode, we're actually going to have a first ever on First Responder Fitness. We're going to be having an unboxing. It's so trendy, I know. But you'll see, it will make sense to you here in a minute. But I am excited about today's topic. We're back to talking about physical fitness and the things that will change your physical and metabolic health. It'll change your body, recomposition your body. So that gut that hangs over the gun belt or that hangs over your belt, that it starts getting sucked in, starts going away, and the shoulders start building up and the arms and everything. And you start looking good, and the chest starts getting muscular, and you're losing the fat and you're gaining the muscle. That is so important. It's so important for a variety of reasons. We've already laid out the fact that overall, largely, the first responder community is more unhealthy and at higher risk for obesity and cardiovascular disease than the rest of the population. And the rest of the population is in terrible shape. That just tells you how dire it is for us in our profession. Heart disease, heart attacks, high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, diabetes, all of these things affect first responders at a very high rate. And we need to combat and fight against that. And so several weeks ago, we talked about the top 5 things, and then I even gave you 5 more things that you need to be doing. Habits habits that you could get into right now that will change your physical fitness, your physical life. And I won't rehash all 10 of them now, but we are going to do a deep dive into one of them today. If you remember, one of the things that I said that you need to focus on, if you want to build muscle, if you want to lose fat, if you want to change your overall health, is you need to start prioritizing protein. Prioritizing protein. Now that's easy for some of you. Some of you, you're completely like you love meat, you love carnivore, you eat meat at every meal, which I'm not saying is a great thing to do, but this is easy for some of you. But for the standard American diet, which, as you may or may not know, the acronym SAD, Standard American Diet, does not have nearly enough protein, has way too much garbage, junk food, sugar, refined and processed, just trash that you're putting into your body. We don't want the SAD diet. We want a good, solid, well-rounded, wholesome diet. And so we're going to talk about protein today. And I don't want you to tune out thinking this is going to be boring, because I promise you it's not going to be boring. And like I said, we're going to do an unboxing later. But what is protein? Very simply put, I'm not going to make this a science class, but protein is one of the 3 major macronutrients. The macronutrients are protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And we at First Responder Fitness strongly believe the science and the health experts who say you need all 3. We are not into these fad, vogue diets that seem to be all the rage on social media. Very simply put, if you're following a fitness influencer who tries to scare you about certain foods or tries to get you to completely eliminate an entire section of macronutrients, stop following that quack. Stop following that lunatic, because they are simply a more misinformation for clicks person. And they get this cult following of people who believe, oh, shoot, you got to cut out carbs. Carbs are terrible. When in reality, your body was made and prefers carbohydrates as its main source of energy. The problem is many of us are way, way, way too over-carbohydrated. We've taken way too many carbohydrates. And we're not taking in nearly enough protein or nearly enough good quality fats. That's the problem. That's why when you go on keto and you cut out carbohydrates completely, you start losing weight, because 1, you're in a calorie deficit. You would not lose weight if you were not in a calorie deficit. And 2, you start eating single ingredient, pure, wholesome foods. If there is an argument for the keto diet or the carnivore diet, it is this. They focus heavily on single ingredient, wholesome whole foods. Something that I put into what it was in our top 5. The top 5 things that you need to do to the habits that you need to do to improve your health, eating wholesome single ingredient whole foods. But it should not be an extreme diet. It should not be the lunatic that's telling you to eat bull testicles on the internet. And there's more than a few of them now. I've even seen a guy who trying to copy the guy who eats liver and bull testicles. He's starting to eat brains, and he's calling it the brain diet. So he's telling you to cook up sheep and lamb and cow brains. It is insane. Don't follow anyone stupid. Okay? I mean, I know I'm being blunt here, but just wholesome, well-rounded diet is what we're looking for. But we need to prioritize protein. Why? What the heck is protein? Protein, very simply, is made of amino acids. And these amino acids are so important for a variety of vital bodily functions, hormone production. Okay, men, if your testosterone's low, perhaps you're not getting enough protein. You need to go see your doctor if your testosterone's low. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but perhaps you're not getting enough protein. Your immune function receives benefit through amino acids and protein intake. Tissue repair, damage to your body, protein and the amino acids that come from protein help repair important damage. It helps repair important tissues and damage to tissues. Muscle is built through protein, period. The body is really good at storing fat. It has this storage center. And if you have all you have to do is, reach down and grab your belly, and you probably realize you probably have a good 4, 5, 6 months of food storage around your stomach. Some of us do. And that is, the body stores fat very easily as body fat. It stores carbohydrates quite well. Excess calories, excess carbohydrates as body fat. But as well as the glycogen and the glucose in your blood, so carbohydrates, are changed into those, and it's stored in those types of systems. Without getting too scientific here, the body does not have a storage facility for protein. And so what that means is you need to continually take protein throughout the day in order to continue to keep your body's protein levels high enough that they can do the job. Of course, if you overconsume anything, too many calories of anything, it's stored as fat. But the bottom line is this: protein is very unique in that it doesn't have a natural storage mechanism in the body. And it's used to build muscle. I guess you could call your muscles the storage facility for protein. Some people refer to it that way, but it's really not. If you want to build muscle, you need protein. And in fact, there is a process called muscle protein synthesis, wherein the protein is used to repair damaged muscle tissue and muscle fibers, but also create or grow your muscle fibers bigger, larger, stronger, because you're putting on a stimulus that they don't like. In order to build muscle, you need 4 things. You need protein, you need water, you need energy, and you need a stimulus. You get the protein by consuming protein throughout the day. You get the water by drinking water, drinking fluids. Energy is through consuming foods, obviously. Calories, energy, it's the exact same thing. A calorie is just a way we refer to the energy that comes from food. And then you need a muscle stimulus. You need to be lifting weights. You need to be lifting weights hard. You need to be lifting hard and pushing your muscles, convincing your body that it needs more muscle to be able to match what the stressors you're putting on it. And that activates muscle protein synthesis. That's how muscle is grown. So how much protein do you need, and where should you be getting this protein? If you are working out, if you are an athlete, which you are because you're exercising, you're working out, you're lifting hard, you are putting forth the effort, you're straining, you're doing the things that you need to be doing, you need about 1.5 to 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's the scientific, that is what they say. That's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. 1.5 to 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. But where should we get this protein? Obviously, I'm a huge fan, single ingredient, wholesome foods. I get the majority of my protein from chicken. I like chicken. Some people don't like chicken so much, but I like chicken. I like chicken breast, chicken tenderloins. Chicken tenderloins are probably a household favorite. We eat a lot of chicken tenderloins in this house. And it's kind of ironic that I eat so much chicken, that chicken is the main source for most of my protein these days, because there was a long period of time where I could not stomach chicken. And it all goes back to a situation that I think many of you can probably relate. In the early, the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, when meth labs were on every corner, we were taking down many meth labs, and we were doing a trash cover. Some people call them a dumpster dive. Just wait till the suspect house puts out the garbage, and you empty the garbage into a controlled garbage truck and take it to a controlled area and go through the garbage. And we were going through, and we found evidence that we needed. We found vent tubes and filters, and found stained red phosphorus everywhere. I mean, obviously we were dealing with a meth lab, but as we were going through that dumpster, I opened up one bag, and I swear this family had eaten Kentucky Fried Chicken for every day for a month, because there was a full hefty bag full of chicken bones and rotted chicken, and just balls of maggots the size of softballs come pouring out of this liquefied, horrific garbage bag. And the smell, my partner, who was in the back of the garbage truck with me, he started retching. He jumped over the side and got out of there, and I started gagging. But I guess I had a tougher stomach than him at the time. But either way, the memory of that smell lasted probably 10 years or more. And my wife would make chicken, and I would eat anything but chicken. So I'm sure that many of you can relate to that story, but I've gotten over that. In many years since, and chicken is now the staple of my protein intake, which it should be yours as well if you like chicken, as long as you haven't opened a bag of rotted, maggot-filled chicken. Fish, tuna fish, salmon. I'm not huge on trout and things like that. I do love seafood, lobster and crab and those types of things, but they're cost prohibitive for most of us. But other types of fish, if you like that, fish is fantastic. Beef is wonderful. Lean, the leanest you can find. And honestly, grass-fed, if possible, just the most wholesome beef you can find. We just want wholesome. We want single ingredient sources of protein. And that's where I get most of mine. Eggs. We eat a lot of eggs at my house. Matter of fact, some of the only animals that we have at First Responder Fitness house are chickens. We have chickens because we eat a lot of eggs. We love eggs and egg whites. I eat mostly egg whites, unless I'm not too worried about my calories. If I'm cutting calories, if I'm in a calorie deficit, I'll eat egg yolks on occasion. Of course I will. I think they're very, very good for you. But if I'm watching my calories, I eat a majority of my eggs as egg whites, and I'll throw in a yolk or two. Fantastic. Love it. Eggs are great. Milk products, they're okay as well. They're if you can tolerate it, if you are not lactose intolerant. Dairy products, just fine, getting your protein. But if you're like most people, you have a hard time figuring out where to get most of your protein, because you have to eat a lot of meat. You have to be very conscious. And I want you to be. I want you to be very aware of what you're eating. I want you to seek out the chicken, the beef, the poultry, the dairy, the eggs, and seek out these good, healthful things to eat, okay? Because protein is so good for you. But sometimes you need a little help. And we are going to get into, everyone always asks, what about protein supplements? Yeah, I do consume protein supplements. I do. Because sometimes I have a hard time getting enough protein, especially when I was larger, enough protein per kilogram of body weight. And so I do take protein supplements. And I'll show you some of the ones that I take. But first, let's talk about another reason protein is king when you are in a calorie deficit. Nothing sucks worse than being hungry. Okay? I get it. I'm afraid of being hungry. Nobody likes being hungry. And when you start cutting calories and you're in a calorie deficit for long enough, hunger is a companion that is going to ride along with you no matter who you are or where you are. It just is. And the more you can control hunger, the easier it will be for you to lose body fat. Bottom line, you cannot arm wrestle your body's hunger hormone ghrelin and win. You can win small battles, but eventually ghrelin, which is the chemical that your body releases, it says, feed me, feed me. And you're saying, no, I'm out of calories for the day. And so it releases more ghrelin in your stomach. It's gnawing a hole in your spine. And you're like, no, I can't eat. I'm out of calories. If you try to battle that chemical, you will lose. And so we've got to keep it controlled. Protein is the key. High protein meals satiate you much better than, and for a longer period of time, than a sugary meal, a carbohydrate meal, or another type of meal. That's the bottom line. High protein meals fill you up faster and for longer and for less calories than most other foods. So that is one of the keys to losing body fat, is to really, really focus in on lean cuts of protein, lean sources of protein to fill you up. But it's a two-edged sword, and they're both to our benefit. Not only does it fill you up, protein fill you up more, but the thermic effect of protein is higher than fat or carbohydrates. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you consume food, your body uses energy to process and digest the food. And it actually takes, let's say you take 100 calories of something, your body will use an X percentage of the calories that you consume to process those calories you ate. Now, that's not exact. You don't eat a potato at 200 calories and it takes a portion of that potato to help digest the potato. No. But what I'm saying is that when you consume food, your body uses energy to digest that food. And it's usually a percentage, roughly a percentage of the food that you eat. To make it very simple, protein has roughly a 20 to 30% thermic effect. What that means is that if you take in 100 calories of protein, it really, at the end of the day, after your body processes it and burns calories, processing all the protein is roughly 70 or 80 calories, because your body uses about 20 to 30% of the energy you consume from protein to help process the protein. I hope that makes sense. The thermic effect of the protein food is the highest. It's higher than fat, it's higher than carbohydrates. And so you get a double whammy. By consuming protein, not only are you full for longer, but your body is also using more energy, more calories. It's using more calories to digest the protein. That is a game changer on the periphery. We want to win on the edges, and that is one of the ways that we will win on the edges. So we want to start incorporating protein into every single meal. I recommend you eat 4 times a day. Breaking your protein up into those 4 times a day, plus some good high protein snacks. I try to get 40 to 50 grams of protein per meal. So I usually aim myself and I know this is what my body likes, about 200 grams of protein a day. So I usually try to get 40 to 50 per meal. If I don't, then I can add in some snacks and make sure that I have some good protein snacks to help me throughout the day. Now, a lot of people talk about, well, when should we take our protein? And what about that protein window, the protein post-workout window? And, there's been a lot of research on that. And unfortunately, there's this window idea is not as dramatic as what you might think. And so the bottom line is this: just keep your body saturated with protein throughout the day. After your workout, if you want to take in some protein, yeah, absolutely. It's not going to hurt. It's going to help. If you want to drink a little bit of protein during your workout, that's fine as well. But the bottom line is this: just stay saturated. Keep your body saturated with protein throughout the day. That is really the best policy overall. It's the best policy overall. Protein is king when it comes to building muscle and losing fat and changing your overall body health. And so I've already talked about the fact. I want to make it very clear before we get into the supplement part of this. I highly recommend that you cut out processed foods as much as you possibly can. I highly suggest that you get most of your food from single ingredient, wholesome whole foods. With that being said, some of the things I'm going to show you here are not exactly single ingredient whole foods, but I choose to use them, and you may choose to use them as well, but it's up to you. The first thing that I like to use is a good protein isolate. This is, I don't even know what brand this is. Matter of fact, all the things I'm going to show you, I have no affiliation with any of the companies, any of the brands at all. But a good protein isolate, my wife and I go through a lot of protein isolate. We make protein ice cream, which I will have an episode on and show you how to make the best protein ice cream. So good. We make smoothies, delicious fruit protein smoothies. We put protein isolate in our Greek yogurt. I eat a lot of Greek yogurt, no fat, 0 fat Greek yogurt. Vanilla Greek yogurt, you mix some berries in there, you mix some vanilla whey isolate. Fantastic. Now, why whey isolate? There's a lot of different ways out there. Whey isolate, whey concentrate. Whey isolate has more protein per gram, less fat per gram, and less calories per gram. It is easier to digest if you are lactose intolerant. Many people, if they're lactose intolerant at all, whey concentrate can be hard on your stomach, whereas whey protein isolate is not. I don't have that issue. I like protein isolate, whey protein isolate, because one, for me, it tastes better. It's smoother. It mixes in the yogurt better, mixes in the ice cream better. It's not as chalky as maybe the concentrate. And it's lower in calories. But it is more expensive than whey protein concentrate. And so if you want to take whey protein concentrate, have at it. It's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it. Just be aware, I prefer isolate for the reasons I've already talked about. All right, let's talk about another one. This is controversial. The Core Power drinks, 42 grams in one bottle. Okay. Why is it controversial? Oh, because the people who, I don't know, people find stupid things to find controversy. I put this in my coffee. I don't use coffee creamer. I wake up, I make my Black Rifle coffee. I love it. If I don't drink a black, I jack it up with a little bit of this. Okay. I put in 52 milliliters of that of this. I weigh it out. 52 milliliters is about 1/8 of a bottle. And I put in my coffee. It jacks up my protein for the day, and it's delicious. And so I really like this. I like it a lot. I don't drink it as a bottle. I don't drink the bottle. I don't drink it. But I use it as a coffee creamer. I also will use it in the chocolate protein ice creams that we make. Just a good snack, a good supplement, a good way. It's a good way to get extra protein in your diet. Now, what about protein bars, protein nutrition bars, those types of things? Yes, I eat those. And again, those are processed. I get it. Sometimes you need to just, you know what? It is what it is. You're going to let good be the enemy of great in every situation. You're going to put a chicken wing in your pocket to go to a meeting, or are you going to take a protein bar? I'll take a protein bar. Before I show you the protein bar, I'll show you another thing that I eat a lot of. Not a lot of, but I eat on occasion. It's these legendary protein pastries. This is probably the most processed thing that I eat. I'm sure that it has stuff. I don't know. I'm sure that it has stuff that that is processed and stuff that you shouldn't be eating a ton of. But 20 grams of protein for a Pop-Tart. Okay. If you eat Pop-Tarts, change them out. Get these. Way better for you. 20 grams of protein, only 180 calories. And that's something I should mention. How do you know if something's high protein? Think about that. How do you know if something is high in protein? Something is high in protein if it has 1 gram of protein, at least 1 gram of protein per 10 calories. So if something has 200 calories, it should have at least 20 grams of protein, or that it's not really high protein. If you get a protein bar that's 200 calories, or I've seen some protein cookies and things out there that have like 400 calories, but 13 grams of protein. That's garbage. That is not enough protein. That is not a high protein cookie. That is a high calorie cookie with a little bit of protein. You want to check and make sure that there's 1 gram of protein for every 10 calories at least. And this hits the bill. 20 grams of protein, 180 calories, does it for me. But I don't eat a ton of those. I don't eat a lot of those. What about protein bars? I have some here. My wife's favorite, and a very, very good one, is these Barbell protein bars. And again, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I'm just showing you what we eat, what I eat, and what I like. These Barbells are good in that 200 calories and 20 grams of protein. They must know the rule. Now, of course, people are allowed to lie on labels. Okay, they just are. You're allowed to lie on labels within a certain threshold. So whether or not you're getting exactly 20 grams of protein with every single one of these, doubtful, but maybe not. But either way, these are freaking delicious. These are outstanding. All of the Barbell protein bars are absolutely delicious, top notch. Their protein source, this is what I do like about these, is that their main protein source is a milk protein blend, but it has casein and whey protein. So whey protein is high on as their protein source, which is big. One of my favorites, probably my favorite thus far as flavor goes, are the Built Chunk Puffs, the Built Puffs. I love the taste. I mean, it's honestly like eating a candy bar. Okay. The protein versus calorie ratio is good. Okay. So in this one, you have 160 grams of calories, or 160 calories. You have 160 calories and 15 grams of protein. So it's a little bit lower than I'd like, but still, this is a pretty good one. The one downside to this, to the puffs, the Built Puffs, is that the main protein source comes from collagen, and collagen protein simply is not good at muscle protein synthesis. It's good for the skin. It's good for the joints, but it does not build muscle like whey protein at all. So you cannot supplement with collagen protein and consider that to be your muscle protein synthesis, muscle building protein. You just can't do it. So beware of that. I still take collagen. I eat these. I like to freeze these. That's how I like them. I like them frozen. That's just how I do it. Okay, that brings us to the unboxing. Just got this in the mail, and it just so happened to fit perfectly with this podcast that I'm doing today. I ordered, this is a brand new protein bar that is out. I'm quite excited to try it out. It is made by the company, it's called the David Bar. Let's see if I can see it. The David Bar. The minds behind this, several different brilliant minds behind the David Bar. But the big sell for me was Dr. Peter Attia. Dr. Peter Attia, who I've mentioned on this podcast before, is a longevity expert. He's someone I tremendously respect. And he was one of the scientific minds behind creating these. I've never had one. This is literally the first time that I've ordered them. So this is their sample box. Comes with, looks like they have 4 of them in this little sample box. We have cake batter flavor. We have chocolate chip cookie dough flavor. I might need to save that one for my wife. That's her jam. Oh, double fudge brownie. That might be her jam. I don't know. And blueberry pie. That's not going to be the one that she'll like. 28 grams of protein. Okay, I don't know how they did this. This is like some kind of scientific craziness, but this is the macros on this. Calories, 150 calories. Protein, 28. That's a high protein. There's nothing that matches it. Let's look at the ingredients real quick. Milk protein isolate, collagen, whey protein. So it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix of whey protein and collagen, a lot like these others. I think all of them are like that. Built Bars like that. Bear Bells is like that. Should we eat it? Let's just eat a little bit of it. Okay, this is the blueberry pie flavored. Okay, so we're gonna take a bite of this one because the others I know my wife is gonna want to try. So let's just take. All right. Well, that's really good. That's good. Excuse me. That's good. That's surprising. And I shouldn't say it's surprising, but it's kind of surprising that it's that good, having that much protein in it. You kind of expect it to taste like chalk. I think that one would be good frozen too. I don't know. I just like them frozen, but that's really good. It has a very strong flavor. It's not a weak flavor. Tastes good, kind of crunchy, a little bit like the Bear Bell is a little crunchy. It's crunchy. It's good. It's definitely yeah, 2 thumbs up for that one. Can't wait to try these other ones. I would open them and bite into them, but my wife would not be having that. So there you go. I know that unpackaging videos and those types of things, sampling videos are all the rage these days. So I thought I would do that because these just barely came in the mail. But David, protein bars, all of them are that good, or even better, because we haven't even tried the chocolate chip or the cookie dough ones yet. If all of them are that good and they have 28 grams of protein but only 150 calories, I will be ordering more of those. So anyway, it's important to prioritize your protein. Critical. Get your protein. Don't neglect this critical macronutrient, building muscle, losing fat. Get out there and seek your goals. Get out there and get your cardiovascular exercise, your weight training, and get your protein in. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below on YouTube, on Spotify. I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to comment in the YouTube comment section below, or you can actually send me an email. My email is Carl, C-A-R-L, @carlwimmer.com. Very easy, Carl@carlwimmer.com. Feel free to send me an email. Shoot me your questions if you have any. I'd be delighted to answer your questions as they come in. And until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others, and as always, stay safe.